Hi guys, in this video I'm going to explain you another way in which we can combine our layers, adjustment layers and layer masks to create some special effects, okay? I already have this image open, which I open it directly in Photoshop. Let me show you the original that I have here. I have the image. I didn't even convert it as a smart object because since I am using adjustment layers, it doesn't matter, okay? I have one layer here. This is the last example that I created, the example Z. So I added some hue saturation to change like the color of the background. But as you can see, my intention is to leave only this part in grayscale or vice versa. Maybe this will be grayscale and this will be colored. It depends on the result you want it to give. But let me show you how I accomplish this, okay? So over here, I opened my image, and then as you can see, it's kind of dark, right? So the first thing that I did was to increase the brightness a little bit of the image and the contrast, just to make the colors more vibrant. Then after that, in my shapes, you can use any shape. I used an ellipse tool, but you can use a triangle or a rounded rectangle tool. It's up to you, okay? And then I created an ellipse. The effect that I want to give is that she's taking one step forward, like inside this shape, like a frame, okay? Like stepping in or out a frame. So I will go to my options bar and remove the fill of my shape, but I'm going to add a white stroke, okay? So I will increase the size of my stroke, which you can also change here in the properties panel, okay? I think I will leave it in 70. I like it that way. And this will be my frame, okay? This will be my frame. Now, after that, I need to add another adjustment layer. An adjustment layer that will make everything black and white. I will desaturate my image, but the only thing that I want to be desaturated is her and one leg. The other thing will be colored, okay? So to do that, let me adjust my the levels of the black and white so it's not super dark, okay? I think that looks fine. Then I'm going to, on the layer mask, I will hide parts of my image. You know that if you press Command on a certain thumbnail, you can get that selection active, okay? So let's think about this. If I fill with my paint bucket black, if I fill this ellipse here on the layer mask, then I will only keep this in color, right? But if I want the opposite effect, then I need to invert my selection. So then everything will be colored except her, okay? So again, this depends on the result that you want to accomplish. I want to do the opposite for this example. So let me invert this again. I will paint her and deselect. But I also need this part of the leg, right? So let me zoom in the same adjustment, the same layer mask with a selection tool or the brush or as you want, we need to also hide this from the mask, okay? So I can use, for example, I need some straight lines or I have some straight lines. I can use, in this case, the polygonal lasso tool. Let me do this really fast, okay? Okay, so now that I have all the selection, let me cut part of her pant. Yeah, of her pants over there. Yeah. Now I also need to fill this with black, so they are part of the same mask. But I need to remove this part as well for the stepping like effect, right? Okay, so I can do this one or do this leg. It's up to you. I'm working with this leg. So on the ellipse layer, I will add another layer mask. As you can see, it's white. That means black hides. I will reduce the size, and with the brush, let me increase the hardness. with the brush, I can start the flow, hold on, to 100, yes. So I can hide all of this. I know with time you will do it so much better, okay? And the effect will be something like this, like she's moving inside the frame. After that, it's just a matter of experimenting. Okay, this effect is very simple. I just wanted to show you that with shapes as well, we can accomplish different effects. If you don't want, for example, this one to be black and white, then you need to change the mask. But instead of adding another layer and inverting everything, click on the layer mask and press Command I to invert the colors. Okay, let me do it again so you can see it. For now, I created a black and white mask. With black, I painted, right? I hid everything except for her. But if I press Command I on the layer mask, then everything will be colored except for her. So this way you can experiment with the colors. Now you can add another, for example, a hue saturation layer, adjustment layer, so you can manipulate the image, okay, the saturation to give it another effect, or maybe a gradient map, or maybe a threshold. Depends on the effect that you want to give to your image. Okay, you can reduce the opacity of that layer, and in this case, okay, if we don't want this to be affected, we can as well use the brush. This is another effect we've done before to maybe hide parts of her, like of her face, not the entire image, just some parts. And like this is another technique, a different way on how to play with layer masks and combine them with shapes and adjustment layers.